A substitute teacher tried to remove my insulin pump during a test because she thought it was a cheating device. My mother walked in while she still had her hands on it. I have been diabetic since I was 9. By the time I was 16, I had spent 7 years learning how to exist in spaces that were not designed with me in mind, how to explain myself quickly, how to carry the documentation that proves the thing attached to my body is not a choice but a requirement. I was used to the occasional question. I was not used to what happened in third period on a Tuesday in November. The substitute was already at the front of the room when I arrived. She introduced herself and explained her rules with the efficiency of someone who had been managing classrooms for decades and had encountered every possible form of student dishonesty. She began distributing the test packets our regular teacher had left. When she reached my desk, she stopped. She looked at the insulin pump clipped to my waistband, then at the tubing that ran under the hem of my hoodie, then back at me. I told her what it was before she asked. I said insulin pump and diabetic in the same sentence, the way I always do, the way that usually resolves the question in 4 seconds. She said electronic devices were not permitted during assessments. I thought she was making a procedural point that I could clarify. I explained that the device was not optional, that it monitored my blood glucose continuously and delivered insulin automatically, and that removing it was not something I could safely do. She said I should have informed the school in advance. I want to be precise here because this detail matters. My medical plan had been on file since the first week of school. Every teacher I had was aware of it. The nurse had a copy. There was a laminated sheet in the emergency binder in the main office with my name and my condition and my device listed by model number. The school did not need to be informed because the school already knew. I said this. She said no one would begin the test until the device was removed from the room. 30 students sat in silence while I tried to understand what was happening. I texted my mother under the desk. She was at work in the hospital across town, 40 minutes away. She did not answer immediately. The substitute walked to my desk and held out her hand. I said no. She reached for the tubing near my pocket. I pulled back. She reached again, more deliberately this time, and when her grip tightened, the tubing pulled against the insertion site on my stomach, and I felt a sharp pain move through my skin. I told her not to touch me. She said if the device was genuinely medical, then removing it briefly should not be a problem. 4 students had their phones out. I could see the screens oriented toward us. She took the pump with both hands and attempted to unclip it from my waistband. I pushed her away from me, hard enough that she stumbled into the desk behind her. The room came apart all at once. Everyone talking. Someone near the window shouting her name at her. 2 students already standing. The door opened. My mother was still in her scrubs. She had gotten my text between patients and had driven 40 minutes without, she told me later, fully deciding what she was going to do when she arrived. She did not need to decide. She walked in and read the room in approximately 2 seconds. Me crying at my desk, the substitute across from me, the tubing visible and stretched. My mother walked directly to her and asked, in a voice that was very quiet and therefore more frightening than shouting would have been, why she had her hands on her daughter's medical device. The substitute began explaining. My mother said one sentence, "You touched her first." 6 students confirmed this simultaneously. 3 phones had footage. The principal arrived. My mother looked at him and said that if I ended up in the hospital, she expected every camera in the building to have been recording. By lunch, the videos were on every platform any of us used. Parents were calling the school before the day ended. By the following morning, the substitute was no longer employed by the district. No announcement was made. She was simply absent, and then absent again, and then never mentioned. Here is the part I returned to. She genuinely believed she was doing her job. She thought she had caught someone cheating, and she had held her position even when the room told her she was wrong. I do not know what to do with the kind of certainty that survives that much contradiction. I only know what it felt like when she grabbed the tubing, and I know I will not forget it.